fucking liar.
You know, these movies are getting longer and longer.
Can't do this anymore.
Yo, how long is this scene?
It's ridiculous.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
Fuck you.
That'll make you happy.
Man, someone shut that baby up.
Always got to ruin a good movie with a sex scene.
All right, so it seems as if young adults are tired of seeing sex scenes in movies. And, you know, we've had this conversation ourselves and we're tired of it. And I'm sure a lot of people feel the same way.
I'm actually kind of surprised. I didn't think that many people felt the way we felt. Like, we constantly had to see it in every movie.
In every TV show.
On every TV show. And, you know, that was something, like you said, we spoke about. But now that we actually seen a study by who did the study? It was
UCLA.
UCLA. And these aren't my age group that's saying this. This is, you know, this is a certain age group, a lot younger than I. And, you know, one thing I can say for sure, you know, well, in 70s, 80s, 90s, has always been sex sells. Sex sells. That was why it was in every movie. That's why it was on all the TV shows. And then, of course, you know, how far they went with it is, you know, questionable. Sometimes you would see, some years you would see a kissing scene that would just fade to black and it would go to the next scene and you would just leave the rest to your imagination. But nowadays, I mean, full television shows are showing like
full
intercourse,
10-minute scenes.
I mean, I would consider X-rated.
No, yeah, essentially that's where it is, and it's like, where do we draw the line here? And I feel like, you know, over the years they were really just trying to push the boundary line as far as they could. It's being taken too far. I mean, there's certain movies that, like, yes, they're R-rated, and you could probably get away with watching them with your family if they didn't have them long drawn out scenes. But because those scenes are there, you just can't watch some of these movies, and even watching it with someone, you know, that's of age, you know, for that 10-minute period, like you guys watching like an X-rated film together, it's just kind of awkward and unnecessary.
It became very difficult growing up and trying to watch a show as a family. And obviously with the invention of cable, the choices there were limitless. And plus it separated the family, because then you would have the children having to go to their room to watch their movies. The adults went into their room to watch their movies. But before all of that, you know, we were limited to certain channels and certain cable channels, and everyone watched the movie together. And it was easy, because if you may have like one scene in there, and that's when you're like, oh, pause it or mute it. Kids, close your eyes, put your hands over your earmuffs, they used to call them. And nowadays, it's difficult. You try and watch a movie today with your kids. It's, I mean, next to impossible, because of, if it's not just, you know, what they do in the bedroom, it's language. And when you have little ones, it's just very difficult to raise them to watch a movie as a family movie. I mean, you literally had to wait for a cartoon or, you know, a Disney movie, and even those are questionable. I'd like to bring up another point with regard to having these scenes in movies, or having them because the powers that be feel that it needs to be in the movie in order for it to sell. Let's take, for example, once you put that scene in the movie, it now becomes R-rated or NC-17. So you're limiting your group at that point. Once you do that, by keeping it open, you get more of a wide range of people, which means possibly more money, right? I would think. But on the other hand, the problem with that is that you have teenagers that go to the movies a lot more often than probably any other age group, or at least it used to be. Today, maybe a lot different. But you're charging them an adult ticket, yet if they're not of age, they can't see that movie. They can't see that R-rated movie unless they have an adult with them. So it's kind of, you know, terrible for the adolescent to only get to see G-rated movies when they're not there with their parents.
And they're paying for an adult
and
ticket.
They're paying the adult price, though. That's kind of slap to the face.